former Victorian Labor MP Adem Somyurek has revealed he plans to block the controversial pandemic management bill. The Andrews government had assumed the bill would win the upper house vote with the support of 3 crossbench MPs. One of them, joining us live now, is the leader of the Reason Party in Victoria, Fiona Patten. Fiona, thanks for your time this morning. So has Adem Somyurek blown up the bill here?
He may well have done. He certainly seems to be keen on, I suppose, getting some revenge on some of his colleagues.
Is that what you think it's about?
I can't think. We haven't seen Mr Somyurek in the Parliament all year, so I can't think of any other reason why he would be coming today. Of course, I don't know. I'm not in the Labor Party, so maybe he's coming in to lend his support. But either way, it's interesting that he chose to come back to Parliament today.
Well, I mean, it does seem like this is the ultimate act of trolling, given the events of the last week. And I think most casual observers could probably see what's going on here, right?
Yeah. Look, I don't think anyone's expecting him to come in to support the bill. I do try and be optimistic sometimes, but yes, I don't think there's any love lost between Mr Somyurek and many of the government members. So yes, this may be his last hurrah and another way to inflict some pain on them.
Okay, so that aside, if the bill is blown up for now, how would you feel about that as a supporter of it?
Look, I would be very disappointed and somewhat concerned. Victoria is the only state that doesn't have the ability to just roll over states of emergency and can't do that indefinitely. Every other state has that ability. So Victoria could be in the very unfortunate situation of not having any ability to manage or control the global pandemic once our state of emergency ends in December. No doubt there will be a solution. Well, I would hope that there would be a solution found before then. But as someone who was quite keen to see this legislation go through, was quite keen to see the temperature come out of the debate and the arguments, and in Victoria, I think if it doesn't pass today, my office particularly is in for another few weeks, really rocky weeks.
Yeah, I mean, but there's a reason why people are protesting, and it is such a hot topic, particularly as you know, in Victoria and Melbourne. It's the lockdown capital of the world, and people don't want to go back to those days. That's fair enough, isn't it?
It's absolutely fair enough. I don't want to go back to those days. I am hoping that, with our vaccination rates at the rates that they are, we should be able to move back to normal life. However, there is a global pandemic going on, so it would be irresponsible for us to just say, right, it's all over. Let's not have any restrictions, any regulation, or any ability to make them if we are seeing our hospitals start to fill with COVID patients again, if we are starting to see COVID spreading in our community amongst our vulnerable people, or those that can't be vaccinated.
The difference now, though, Fiona, is that we've got such high rates of vaccination. So ideally, we would avoid that.
Exactly. I would hope that we do avoid it. However, Victoria would be the only state without any ability to control its borders, to quarantine people, to request that people isolate when they have COVID. So we would be in a very precarious situation, a situation that no other jurisdiction would be in. No other jurisdiction around the world doesn't have some form of ongoing pandemic guideline or pandemic regulation and control.
Yeah. Well,
so we would be in a very dangerous situation. I think it would be very irresponsible of my colleagues to put us in that situation. And I would hope, and I think we have to remember that there's a lot of misinformation going on about this pandemic. And this legislation, to say that this gives the Premier inordinate powers, it doesn't. It gives him no more powers than he has now. He can declare a state of disaster, a state of emergency. He can do that without any transparency, without any health advice being made public. And this legislation actually seeks to improve it. Now, I know it's got its critics, but I don't think there's a single one of them who wouldn't say that it's better than what we've got now.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the point. You talk about power there. That's the point that Adem Somyurek writes about this morning. And he's not alone there. Most people, as you just referred to, do believe that it gives the government too much power. You've just given your reason as to why you think it doesn't, which is what I was going to ask you anyway. But Fiona, we've got about 10 seconds left. But have you had conversations at all with other crossbenchers or other independents about whether they might be movable? Because now you've got to go and find one more vote.
Look, in private conversations, there's a number of members of parliament who actually think that this legislation, while it might not be perfect, and no legislation is, it's far better than what we've got now. But with the heat, with the aggressive attacks, with the threats that are being made, I don't think anyone wants to put their head above the parapet at the moment.
Okay, Fiona, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.